Level 10. Silk sheets chill your skin. You open your eyes at the absolute peak of the aesthetic food chain. Every movement you make is captured by lenses. Every step is dictated by a contract. Your phone explodes with thousands of messages from fans, but these people don't love you. They love a sparkling image. In the marble silence of a VIP restroom, the screen of a phone left behind by your companion lights up. A message from their business partner reads that listening to you speak is absolutely unbearable, but standing next to you makes them look like a god. To them, you are nothing more than expensive inventory, an elite trophy in the display case of vanity. History cannot be rewritten, but you can find out how we got here and what was left behind. Perhaps the truth isn't as obvious as it seems at first glance. Remember, every path brings consequences, and it's up to you to decide how to live. The path is chosen. Level 1. Invisible. The alarm clock wheezes at 4:30 in the morning. You open your eyes in a dark room, physically feeling the heavy burden of the upcoming day. Your morning routine takes exactly 10 minutes because you have no reason to preen in front of the mirror. The world prefers to simply erase this face from its reality. But this absolute social vacuum has a powerful advantage. No one expects anything from you. You possess a frightening crystalline freedom from other people's standards and societal pressure. The commute to work is an hour in a swaying subway car. Even in a crowded train, an empty space forms around you, as if you were transparent. At the sorting warehouse, the hum of the conveyor belt mixes with the dusty air. You monotonously scan barcodes, left entirely alone with your thoughts. During the lunch break, a glitch in the routine occurs. A manager with a tablet rushes past and drops a stack of invoices right at your feet. You instinctively reach out to help, but he steps right over your hand, pretending you don't exist. How would you act in this situation? Swallow the humiliation to keep your job, or make a scene and risk getting thrown out on the street? Think about it. Your shift ends in dead silence. The journey home drags on through the evening dampness and traffic jams. At 8 in the evening, the sticking lock gives way with a nasty scrape, and you eat reheated soup, enjoying the fact that the world has finally left you alone. Level 2. The joke. Target. The loud honk of a street sweeper forces you to throw off the blanket at 6 in the morning. Your stomach clenches with familiar, mild anxiety before stepping outside. Your synthetic uniform highlights every flaw of your figure with its ugly folds. 40 minutes in the tram is a trial. High schoolers in the back row often whisper while looking in your direction. But after years of living on this level, you've developed an impenetrable psychological armor. Words don't cut as deep anymore, and the fear of public embarrassment has atrophied because the worst is already happening. The fluorescent lights burn your eyes behind the supermarket cash register. You scan items on autopilot until a group of noisy teenagers slams a can of energy drink onto the belt. One of them studies your face, nudges his friend, and flashes a wide smirk. The guy points his phone camera right at your face and loudly asks if you slept in a dumpster last night. What is your move in this moment? Snap back and give them a reason to post a video online, or silently scan the can and endure the spit in your face. Make your choice. The evening shift comes to an end, your feet aching in worn-out sneakers. In an empty night bus, you stare at your silhouette in the dark window for a long time. A TV commercial murmurs in the background of your empty apartment as you fall asleep from exhaustion. Level 3, the useful friend at 7 in the morning. Your phone screen lights up with a message from an acquaintance. She asks for a ride to the university. You go down to your car, where the interior greets you with the sharp smell of a cheap air freshener. She drops into the passenger seat, enthusiastically chirping about a party you weren't invited to. The plus side of your position is that you are a trusted confidant, a safe harbor for those around you. People trust you with their secrets and apartment keys, knowing you won't betray them or become romantic competition. In the library, the air smells of dry paper. Your flawless notes draw your classmates to your desk. They flash grateful smiles as they take your notebooks, but quickly disappear. Your acquaintance shows up again, calling you Big Brother, and urgently asks you to fix her laptop. You know that in an hour she will leave for a date with a guy who doesn't appreciate her. How will you react? Spend your time fixing it, remaining stuck in the friend zone, or firmly refuse and risk losing this contact? Decide. Already after dark, you return home, eating dinner in front of your monitor. You go to bed with the realization that your usefulness is your only social currency. Level 4, below average. At 5:30 in the morning, sweat pours into your eyes on the treadmill. Your day is a constant battle against genetics through rigid discipline, strict calorie counting, and expensive suits. And therein lies your main advantage. You are hardworking and focused. Your skills are honed to perfection because nothing is handed to you. In the spacious open-plan office, a heavy folder containing your complex analytical report lands on the desk. During the presentation, you show brilliant charts, but management barely looks up from their smartphones. Your more attractive colleague casually repeats your exact conclusion using different words. The director loudly praises him for his genius idea, while your hard work evaporates into thin air. The meeting is over. The boss points to a mountain of dirty coffee cups and asks you to grab the dishes on your way out. What will you tell your boss? Obediently gather the cups, playing the role of a servant, or start a conflict to defend your professional boundaries? Think about it. In the evening, you ride home in a taxi, listening to an economics podcast. Dried chicken breast and vegetables conclude your productive but emotionally draining day. Level 5, the true middle. The soft ring of your alarm clock bounces off the walls at 7 in the morning. In the mirror, the ultimate default human setting looks back at you, a perfect 0. Your morning routine takes half an hour. Breakfast consists of scrambled eggs and toast. The bus ride is peaceful. No one looks at you with pity or lust. Your main superpower is perfect social camouflage. You can blend into the crowd whenever you want and appear when needed. No extra expectations are placed upon you. In the office, you aren't ignored, but you're never singled out from the crowd either. At lunch, a colleague at the water cooler pours a drink and starts harshly criticizing the company's new policy. Saying words like that could easily cost you your job here, but he demands your honest opinion. What choice will you make? Support the truthful critique and risk getting fired, or give a faceless answer and blend in with the office furniture? The decision is yours. In the evening, you buy a standard set of groceries at the supermarket. The day dissolves into the background noise of a sitcom, and you fall asleep in absolute, safe tranquility. Level 6. Cute sunlight slices through the blinds at 8 in the morning. You spend minimal time getting ready. Clothes fit you perfectly without any effort. On the subway, people instinctively make way for you, and their faces soften during eye contact. At the coffee shop, the barista smiles genuinely and draws a little smiley face on your cup with a marker. The world seems accommodating and soft, but there is a hidden downside. You start taking kindness for granted, and your ambitions gradually fade in this warm comfort. In your boss's office, your actual mistake in a contract is simply crossed out with a pen, accompanied by a friendly pat on the back. During your lunch break walk, a man drops a thick leather wallet into a puddle. A stack of bills sticks out of the purse, but the owner keeps walking. What would you do? Call out to the man, return the money, and validate your pure image, or take the wallet, knowing you'd be forgiven even for this? Think about it. In the evening, your bar date goes smoothly and naturally. You return home and fall asleep with a pleasant feeling of social security. Level 7, Sweet Spot. You open your eyes at the pinnacle of social comfort. A leisurely breakfast with fresh pastries and a cappuccino, followed by a drive to work in your own car, listening to light jazz. In the office hallway, colleagues' heads turn to follow you like magnets. The director hands you the lead on a new project simply because clients find it aesthetically pleasing to look at your face. Security guards yield the best parking spots to you, and flight attendants upgrade you to business class. But this comfort hides a trap of doubt. You never know for sure if people value your professionalism, or if they just want to be near an attractive picture. In the meeting room, a report with your critical calculation error is placed on the table. But the director furiously scolds your less attractive colleague instead. The boss truly believes that an ideal employee cannot make mistakes. What will you do? Admit your mistake, shattering the boss's blind faith, or let an innocent person be fired to save your career? Your move. After working out at an elite fitness club, you have dinner at a fine restaurant. You sleep soundly, trying not to think about the slight aftertaste of phoniness in this success. Level 8, Halo Effect. In a spacious apartment with panoramic windows, you wake up with the thought that your face opens doors before you even speak. Your housekeeper brings you freshly brewed coffee. The crowd at the conference parts before you like you're a star. The audience diligently notes down every mundane sentence you say, automatically attributing genius and power to you. The downside of this level is the budding paranoia. People agree with you out of fear of disappointing you. You lose all objective criticism, and the world begins to unnaturally bend to your whims. In the coffee break area, the head of a rival company places a thick envelope on the table. He offers a huge bribe for a data leak, without even asking for a receipt. Looking at your face, he blindly believes in your nobility, and is certain you won't turn him in. What is your choice in this situation? Take the dirty money, proving your aura has a price tag, or refuse, making a powerful enemy. Think about it. At the evening charity dinner, all eyes are locked on you. From the heights of your luxury apartment, the night city seems absolutely submissive, and you go to sleep in complete silence. Level 9. Intimidating beauty silk sheets chill your skin early in the morning. Your appearance is an armor-piercing weapon, but simultaneously a blank wall separating you from humanity. On the street, the noise of the central avenue quiets down as soon as you appear in the crowd. Passers-by panic and look away at the slightest eye contact. In the office, you are surrounded by an icy vacuum. No one invites you to lunch out of fear of being rejected. Colleagues secretly relish any of your slip-ups, feeling Schadenfreude when a deity stumbles. You are untouchable, and this loneliness burns you from the inside worse than poverty at the bottom of the social ladder. By the water cooler, a person you find attractive physically shrinks from insecurity and fear. They are absolutely certain you would never look at them. What will your action be? Speak first, risking scaring the person into stuttering, or walk past, plunging deeper into icy isolation. Make a choice. In the nightclub, the flashes of strangers' phones blind you, but no one dares to simply ask how your day went. Your massive house greets you with silence, and you fall asleep in crystalline loneliness. Level 10, Symbol. The cycle completes in the cosmetologist's office, where the morning begins with beauty injections and weighing food down to the milligram. Your body functions as an income-generating corporation. Every step is strictly dictated by contract. A ride in a tinted car is accompanied by endless calls from your PR manager. Your status grants you millions and access to any luxury in the world, but it entirely erases your personality. To society, you are no longer a person. You are a brand, inventory, and a money-making function. A business partner's fingers grip your arm with the tight hold of someone who owns an exclusive item. In the silence of the dressing room, the screen of the phone he left behind lights up. The message reads that listening to you is unbearable, but next to you, he looks like a god. What will you do with this information? Throw a public scandal, destroying the deal and your reputation as a trophy, or swallow the dirt and return to the spotlight with a smile? It's up to you. You adjust your perfect hair in the mirror. Flawless symmetry is paired with absolutely cold eyes. You step out into the camera flashes so that this endless cycle can continue. Jimmy's archive, the screen goes dark, the camera flashes dim, and the glossy illusion shatters. Jimmy's voice sounds dry and calm. We have just objectively dissected the entire anatomy of human perception. You saw how each level sets its own traps and offers its own perks. Why do you need to know the mechanics of how society ranks people by millimeters of facial symmetry? Because right now, this invisible system affects your salary, your social circle, and your level of freedom. Understanding these hidden mechanisms is a tool that will help you stop being a puppet to other people's reactions. Let's open the files and look at the mechanics of reality without illusions. File contact refusal, social invisibility, and ostracism. The first level demonstrated an absolute vacuum. In the Cyberball experiment, psychologist Kipling Williams proved a terrifying neurological fact. Social ostracism activates the anterior cingulate cortex of the brain, the area responsible for physical pain. To your gray matter, there is no difference between an injury and being totally ignored by society. Evolution hardwired this code into us. Exile from the tribe meant danger. Psychological first aid. If you feel like empty space, do not try to knock on closed doors. Find your own pack based on interests. If you are ignored at work, become an indispensable professional whose skills speak louder than their face. Recommended to study. Cyberball experiment, Kip Williams. To understand how the brain reacts to isolation and why loneliness feels like physical pain. File perception, error, halo effect, and horn effect. The fourth level devalued your report, and the eighth handed you a bribe on your word of honor alone. In 1920, psychologist Edward Thorndike described a cognitive bias called the halo effect. Our brain latches on to a single bright trait of beauty and automatically attributes intelligence and honesty to the person. The flip side is the horn effect, where average or unattractive looks are subconsciously associated with incompetence. Psychological first aid. Catch yourself when you trust an attractive person too easily. If a cute colleague asks for a favor, ask yourself if you would do the same for a random passerby. Recommended to study. Thorndike Halo Effect Study, 1920, to realize how marketers use the weakness for pretty faces. File price of perfection, beauty penalty, and objectification. The 10th level turned a person into expensive inventory. Barbara Fredrickson's objectification theory accurately describes this golden cage. When society judges a person solely by their facade, their personality is reduced to zero. Here, the beauty penalty also comes into play, destroying careers at the top executive levels. People are subconsciously convinced that the position was obtained for a beautiful silhouette rather than intelligence. Psychological first aid. If you face this, artificially weigh down your professional image. Show your toughness before the other person starts evaluating your looks. Recommended to study. Fredrickson Objectification Theory, to understand the mechanics of turning a personality into a function. File Broken Flower, Tall Poppy Syndrome, and Schadenfreude. The 9th level shattered the person against a wall of isolation, where the crowd hates those who break equality. Tall Poppy Syndrome is society's instinctive desire to cut off the head of the flower that grows to high above the field. People feel hidden Schadenfreude when a perfect person stumbles. The fear of being rejected by a deity forces society into preemptive ignoring. Psychological first aid. Don't you dare downplay your merits to soothe other people's insecurities. Gather strong people around you who don't need your downfall to validate themselves. Recommended to study. Tall Poppy Syndrome, Social Psychology, to stop fearing other people's envy. File Cutting Corners. Attractiveness Heuristic. The 6th and 7th levels rolled out a red carpet of forgiven mistakes. The attractiveness heuristic works as an instant friend or foe filter, where beautiful equals safe. Absolute social comfort atrophies the will to develop and kills ambition. Psychological first aid. Use your social bonuses, but invest your time in hard skills. Gravity and time will eventually defeat any beauty, but skills will remain. Recommended to study. Attractiveness, Heuristic, Cognitive Bias, to understand why life seems easy and how not to lose your edge.
Author's word: we live in an era of aggressive visual dictatorship. From smartphone screens, the idea of a perfect facade as a solution to all problems is hammered into us daily. But our investigation revealed the objective underside of this mechanism. Lookism hits both ends of the spectrum. Residents of the lower levels possess freedom but suffocate from social isolation. The elite of the 10th level bathe in luxury but thrash inside golden cages, working as tools for someone else's ego. And the golden middle is a comfortable but temporary balance before the inevitable march of time. The true problem is that our ancient brain is critically lazy and will continue to scan faces in milliseconds. We are doomed to judge a book by its cover, but recognizing this flaw is the first step toward real freedom. Freedom from blindly trusting a pretty picture and from the fear of others' judgments. All information in this video is educational. If you face severe societal pressure, please consult specialists. Go down to the community tab and put your cards on the table. What level of this system are you on? And could you survive at the polar ends of this spectrum? Subscribe to the channel. This was Detective Jimmy Snail. See you in the shadows.
you.